Hello there and welcome to Playworms. The film opens in 1991 with Bucky Barnes being defrosted by Hydra operatives. After being brainwashed with a set of trigger words, he's sent on an extraction mission, instructed to leave no witnesses. During the mission, he crashes a car, and it's revealed that everything about Bucky's actions is fueled by the super soldier serum. In the present day, the Avengers, Steve Rogers, Natasha Romanoff, Sam Wilson, and Wanda Maximoff are on a mission in Lagos, Nigeria. They're gathering intel when a garbage truck crashes into the Center for Infectious Diseases, and the center is immediately attacked. The Avengers spring into action, but Brock Rumlow manages to escape with a bioweapon. The team tracks him to a market where a fight breaks out. During the confrontation, Rumlow reveals that Bucky was his buyer and warns Steve to stay away from him before committing suicide in a bomb blast. In a split-second reaction, Wanda contains the blast, but it redirects into a nearby building, killing multiple relief workers, leaving her horrified. Meanwhile, in Massachusetts, Tony Stark, Iron Man, gives a speech at MIT, proudly announcing his funding for students' projects. However, his mood shifts when he notices Pepper Potts' name appear on the teleprompter. He abruptly ends the speech and encounters Miriam Sharp in an elevator. She confronts Stark about the Sokovia incident from Avengers Age of Ultron, bitterly blaming him for the death of her son, Charles Spencer, who was killed when a building dropped during the battle. Her words linger as Stark reflects deeply on the consequences of his actions. At Tony's compound, Wanda feels guilty after seeing a report on the Lagos attack. She has been confined to the compound and is under the watchful eye of Vision. Meanwhile, Secretary of State Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross summons the Avengers to a meeting, calling them dangerous and reckless, pointing out their repeated disregard for sovereign borders and the collateral damage they've caused. He then presents the Sokovia Accords, a proposal backed by 117 countries through the United Nations to make the Avengers government-controlled. If they refuse, they would be forced into retirement. In Cleveland, a man is attacked by Helmut Zemo, who demands information about December 16, 1991. When the man, revealed to be a Hydra agent, refuses to speak, Zemo drowns him. Back with the Avengers, the debate over the Accords intensifies. Tony, still haunted by his guilt over the Sokovia incident, supports the Accords while Steve is opposed. Steve is further shaken when he receives news that Agent Carter has passed away in her sleep. In London, Agent Carter's funeral is held. Sharon Carter delivers a moving eulogy, which speaks to the importance of standing by what you believe is right, further strengthening Steve's resolve to reject the Accords. The debate continues in Vienna, where the United Nations is set to discuss the Accords. King T'Chaka of Wakanda discusses the issue with Natasha, expressing concern over Steve's absence. He is then introduced to Steve's friend and ally, T'Challa. During the king's speech, a bombing occurs and T'Chaka is killed. The attack sets off a chain of events. Sharon and Steve discuss the bombing and discover that Bucky is allegedly responsible. Natasha talks to T'Challa, who vows to capture and kill Bucky for his father's death. Steve calls Natasha, urging her to reconsider, but she warns him not to pursue Bucky. Sharon gives Steve information, revealing Zemo's involvement. In a hotel room, Zemo is shown with a book containing the trigger words used to control Bucky. In Bucharest, Steve Rogers finally tracks down Bucky, who is in hiding. The two engage in a fight when authorities attempt to arrest Bucky. As Bucky escapes, Black Panther arrives and a high-speed chase unfolds between Bucky, Black Panther, Captain America, and Falcon. Eventually, all are caught and arrested by James Rhodes' War Machine, who dryly tells Steve, "Congrats, Cap. You're a criminal." Back at Tony Stark's compound, Wanda is confined under the protection of Vision, who prevents her from leaving. In Berlin, the captured individuals from Bucharest, including Bucky, are held in separate cages. Tony and Steve have a tense conversation about the Sokovia Accords, which quickly escalates into a full-blown argument. Meanwhile, Bucky is being interrogated by a mysterious figure who reveals himself to be Helmut Zemo. The red device seen earlier, which is revealed to be an electromagnetic wave bomb, disables the city's power. Zemo uses the book to brainwash Bucky and orders him to carry out a mission related to December 16, 1991. Steve tries to intervene, but Bucky, now under Zemo's control, attacks Tony, Natasha, Black Panther, and Steve. Bucky manages to escape but is soon confronted by Steve, who pulls him from a helicopter mid-flight, and the two crash into a pool below. Bucky, now awake, is tied up with Steve and Sam. When questioned, Bucky reveals that he wasn't the only Winter Soldier, and that the others were a brutal, ultra-violent death squad designed to bring chaos to the world. Despite Falcon's suggestion to tell Tony Stark, Steve refuses, believing Stark wouldn't believe them. In Berlin, Secretary Ross orders Stark and Romanoff to capture Bucky, Steve, and Sam within 36 hours. They begin strategizing while in Queens, a teenager named Peter Parker, Spider-Man, is visited by Stark, who recruits him to help in Germany. At Stark's compound, Clint Barton, Hawkeye, infiltrates and convinces Wanda to join Steve's side. She uses her magic to knock Vision unconscious by dropping him deep into the earth, then leaves with Hawkeye. Back in Berlin, Natasha recruits Black Panther to join Team Cap. In Germany, at the Leipzig airport, Steve receives intel from Sharon Carter, and the two share a kiss. Soon after, Hawkeye arrives with Scott Lang, Ant-Man, and they join Steve's team. The two teams clash in a massive battle. During the fight, Falcon advises Steve and Bucky to escape while the rest of Team Cap continues to fight as a distraction. As they make their way to the aircraft, Vision intervenes for Team Iron Man. The battle escalates, including a moment where Ant-Man grows to giant size. Eventually, Vision disables air control towers, but Bucky and Steve manage to reach their aircraft, only to be confronted by Black Widow. She stuns War Machine and tells Steve and Bucky, "Don't make me regret this decision." Black Widow explains that she agreed to help find them, not catch them. Iron Man, War Machine, and Falcon continue their pursuit. But during the chaos, Vision accidentally shoots War Machine out of the sky. He crashes to the ground and Tony is horrified at what has just happened. In Vienna, the interrogator who was meant to question Bucky is found dead in his hotel room. On the plane, Steve reflects on his choices, questioning if he made the right one. Meanwhile, War Machine is left paralyzed and Tony argues with Natasha, accusing her of disregarding the Accords. Natasha, unfazed, retorts,
"Are you incapable of letting go of your ego for one goddamn second?"
During the flight, he uncovers Zemo's involvement in the deception at Vienna. Meanwhile, Zemo continues his plan and uncovers a room full of frozen soldiers. Tony arrives at a base where the other members of Team Cap are imprisoned. When he speaks to Falcon, Tony admits he was wrong and wants to find Rogers to help. He lies to Secretary Ross, claiming he's returning to the compound, but secretly heads to Rogers' location. Unbeknownst to Tony, Black Panther follows him. At the location, Steve and Bucky find Tony, and they reconcile as Tony learns about Zemo's true intentions. The trio investigates, and Black Panther observes from the shadows. They reach the chamber only to discover all the soldiers are dead, killed by Zemo. He reveals his plan and plays the footage from December 16th, 1991, showing that Tony's parents were killed in the mission where Bucky crashed their car. Devastated, Tony attacks Bucky, and the three engage in a fierce battle. Outside, Zemo admits his ultimate goal was to destroy the Avengers. Having lost his own family in Sokovia, he sought revenge. Before attempting suicide, Black Panther intervenes, choosing not to seek revenge but to capture Zemo instead, feeling pity for him. Inside, Captain America and Iron Man continue their brutal fight. Tony, consumed by anger, tries to kill Bucky, but Captain America gains the upper hand, driving his shield into Tony's suit. Tony yells at Steve, accusing him of not being worthy of his father's shield. In response, Steve leaves the shield behind and walks away with Bucky, leaving Tony defeated. Later, we see Rhodes in physical therapy, assisted by Tony through an exoskeleton that helps him move. A FedEx delivery man, Stan Lee's cameo, arrives with a letter from Cap. In the letter, Cap apologizes for not telling Tony the truth about his parents earlier, and acknowledges that the Avengers belong to Tony. Despite their differences on the Accords, Cap expresses his need for the team to stay united. The film ends with Team Cap breaking free from imprisonment, leaving the future of the Avengers uncertain. That's how the movie ends. If you liked our video, please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel for upcoming videos.